Good morning. It's Thursday morning. Today we're going to read Acts 5:33 through 40. It's sort of the rest of the story. When they heard this, they were enraged and wanted to kill them. But a Pharisee in the council named Gamaliel, a teacher of the law held in honor by all the people, stood up and gave orders to put the men outside for a little while. And he said to them, "Men of Israel, take care what you are about to do with these men. For before these days Theudas rose up, claiming to be somebody, and a number of men, about 400, joined him. He was killed, and all who followed him were dispersed, and it came to nothing. After him, Judas the Galilean rose up in the days of the census, and drew away some of the people after him. He too perished, and all who followed him were scattered. So in the present case, I tell you, keep away from these men and let them alone. For if this plan or this undertaking is of man, it will fail. But if it is of God, you will not be able to overthrow them. You might even be found to be opposing God." So they took his advice, and when they'd called in the apostles, they beat them and charged them not to speak in the name of Jesus, and let them go. So Gamaliel comes to the rescue. Now, he was one of the more liberal rabbis in the ancient world. We know a little bit about him. He was a teacher. I think he was one of Paul's teachers, and he was somewhat sympathetic, perhaps not to the message of the gospel, but at least to the fact that these things happen periodically, and we should just wait it out, because if it's just somebody pretending to be somebody, then it'll fade away. But if it really is of God, there's nothing you can do, so you may as well not get in the way of it. And they buy that. They say, "Oh, well, okay." So Gamaliel saves the day for Peter and the apostles in some ways, and he's heard. He has a reputation that gives him some authority. Now, we know a little bit about some of the members of the council, not much, and there was Nicodemus, who seems to have been sympathetic to, if not an actual Christian. Perhaps he was later on, I don't know. But there were some others who were at least willing to give the apostles the benefit of the doubt on some of this. Some of the Pharisees would have, anyway, because the idea of resurrection would not be completely foreign to them. So Gamaliel steps in and persuades the council of the way to go, and they go that way. And so they beat them, and they charged them not to speak of this name again, and they let them go. And of course, the apostles go back to the church, which we're going to read tomorrow, and they all celebrate because they've been more or less allowed to continue, with some restrictions, but that's where the story kind of ends. They're going to let that go for a while, and so what happens is that Peter and John are not imprisoned forever. They're not killed, and they're able to continue spreading the gospel, which is all they wanted to do anyway, is continue. So it works out for them. So when you get discouraged and you think everything is blocking your way and you're wondering, how is this ever going to happen? Take a deep breath and wait, and sometimes something will shake loose, your circumstances will change, and you'll be able to find a way forward, which is all any of us can do in life. So let's look for the Gamaliels that are out there. Let's do that, and you have a great day today.